So my name's Bence Horvath. I'm a director within Ernst & Young, or EY, part of the technology consulting and cybersecurity team. And I lead within that team a pillar, as we call the separations within cyber, that is focused around next-gen security operations, incident response, threat intelligence, and advanced security testing. I was working whilst I was in university back in Budapest for a smaller investment company and kind of a super junior analyst over the summer, and they made an investment into several technology companies, but one of which I was responsible for to kind of oversee, also look into the technology, was an e-commerce company. And basically, what I found out through just looking from an investment perspective and looking at their technology is that actually it was really easy to get hold of their customer data and client data. So when I came back to my bosses, who made a pretty significant investment to that company just recently, so before I discovered this and showed them, to say like, yep, you could basically as a competitor email everybody on that platform who's buying and selling to get them over to another platform. They were pretty shocked, and so I was pretty shocked that nobody's really listening and looking into these issues from that perspective. So that was, I think, my first nudge into taking cyber really seriously. I mean, yes, I've done all the things with the home computer as one shouldn't do as a teenager, but I think from a really professional perspective, that was kind of the first nudge. And never really thought 15 years ago that it's going to be this long and especially this important of a career. But seems to have worked out. So, of course, within the kind of entirety of cyber in EY, we break them down to various pillars, and as I'm considered one of the resident nerds in the team, I got the more technical pillar. But really, what it focuses around, and what my kind of area and the team that works with me covers, is everything around blue team. So that's the next gen security operations, the cyber defense part, everything around red team, anything around regulatory driven testing such as CBEST or Tiber, to really proper red teaming and more advanced kind of pen test jobs, all of the threat intelligence areas, which of course underpin both of those sides, both the red team and the white and the blue team side, and incident response, which is kind of, again, just the mixture and reorganization of the same skills as we see it within EY. So I always say we've got great people, great knowledge around the team, and we always try to, depending on the specific client task, we reorganize it, and I lead the team and the charge on reorganizing and putting the best people together. So really, I think that's all. It's behind that kind of lofty and a bit of a mouthful title. First one is definitely fun, at least for me. I truly enjoy it. Again, I'm a bit of a nerd, so maybe that's why I enjoy it. But it's just a good area. It's also challenging. I always feel motivated. There's always something new to learn, to experience. There's always a new attacker coming out with a report. There's always something new that we can do. So it's very much a challenging environment, and I think because of the combination of the two, it's very much fulfilling as well. So again, I would be hard pressed to find another job, or to name one that provides both of the challenges and the fun at the same time, so that at the end of the day I feel like I could make a difference, and I could make a difference whilst doing the thing I love. So I always, again, cybersecurity is a people business. We work with technology, of course, but I think always the biggest differentiator is business. And again, I worked, almost a decade in Germany, even within EY. I first started by building a team in Madrid, and then I transferred over to London and joined the regional team here. So I enjoy that, you've got different experts, even technical experts in the room, but they come from different backgrounds, and they bring a different way of thinking. And I do believe that the best cyber teams are the ones that are diverse in every sense of the word, because we need a diversity of opinion, a diversity of backgrounds, a diversity of thinking to go about a particular problem, and also to be able to think like an attacker as well. It's part of our mandate. It's part of our job to be able to guess what the other side is thinking, and it's kind of like a chess move. If you've got people who understand the mentality of, let's say, an Eastern European attacker group, or something else, Far Eastern, actor. Those, if you got people in the team who've got that, kind of national security background, and gone toe to toes with APTs, as well as you've got people who come from a commercial background, and they understand, okay, the biggest crown jewels would be in different areas. I think that's really helpful and important in running a good team. And I mean, I've got a bit of a travel bug, so I always enjoyed, of course, pre-COVID to get on a flight and go somewhere else. But I think being multilingual and being always open for other people's opinion that comes from this international background really helped me build a team and build client relationships that are truly meaningful. I think from a particular advice, for industry is teaming. Cyber is definitely a team sport. We know, and we've got all the evidence that, quote unquote, the other side, the attackers, are collaborating, sharing experiences, sharing tools, sharing intelligence, sharing capabilities, and the best way to combat them and kind of that area is to do the same thing on our side. So again, share your experiences, put your IOCs out, build those communities. Ask again. I know that sometimes when you're in an incident situation, it can be embarrassing to publish that you've been attacked, that you've been hacked. But I think again, there's a great example now for example, what FireEye did at the end of last year, coming out and disclosing what happened and bringing all the relevant information out, to let the industry know that, guys, this is what's happening. This is what you need to look for. That is definitely the way that I think to go. And we're currently coming out of lockdowns everywhere, so hopefully we can also get together in conferences as well. But I definitely find that, again, this sharing of experiences working in groups such as CREST, such as MITRE, is definitely the way to go forward to, quote unquote, beat the bad guys. There is great material put out, and all the videos put out by CREST, which I can wholeheartedly recommend to everybody to look at. The presentations that have been shared, again, not just from the UK, but I know you guys got the Australian ones up as well that I was watching the other day. So I think that also gives a little bit of that international flavor out there as well. From the US perspective, MITRE, and of course the people behind the MITRE attack framework, but they also put out a lot of freely available material. And I would be remiss if I wouldn't plug that EY also has thought leadership out by some of our regional as well as global leaders, especially around topics like ransomware, and how to go about thinking of paying a ransom or not paying a ransom, how to react well to an attack. So I can definitely recommend, looking at some of the materials we've put out on ey.com as well. So the presentations that we gave on CTip was actually with by myself and a former colleague of mine who's currently now working in the US, running the cyber threat intel team of a large retailer over there. We're really focused on giving some practical examples and tips and tricks on how you can make threat intelligence more actionable and how you can bring it into the wider cyber defense framework. So really, from running an intel team and producing those reports, how do you enable those reports to be really read, picked up by the organization, transformed into something that delivers value. So I think, again, I can recommend it for the reasons of if you want some tricks on and tips on what works. So again, Robert and I have been doing this for a while now. We've gone through the pain of trying to figure out, how often can you run a tabletop exercise? Who do you need to get involved? How do you prepare for all of these things? Hopefully, it's a useful resource that we've pulled together. And again, we're trying to nudge people as well to stop thinking about attack simulation exercises, for example, or red team exercises as being something that you've only done once a year and then you check the box and move on. But you can do something a bit more low key. It doesn't require all the effort from the enterprise to do that, but you could do it more regularly as well. It's kind of like training an institutional muscle memory. You could always just prep for the one big race that you have in a year, but as we know, cyber attacks don't just happen once a year; they happen all the time. So going to a more regular kind of routine is what we're trying to give some tips and tricks around.